Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Playing for Sushi Football Life in Japan. Today, we're here with the Silver Star rookie defensive lineman, Ryan Boehm. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, so your rookie year, right? You're sitting, we talked last episode, we talked with John, who was the 11th season vet, and now we're here with you, who's, going into your rookie year. And, how's it been so far for you, your experience?
It's been different for sure. Coming from top Mountain West program to pro football in Japan, it's been different. It's a change of pace. But I've been pleasantly surprised with the competition out here. I think that's one of the biggest things I've noticed is there's some ballers out here.
Oh, yeah.
And coming from the U.S., you think you're going to be the top dude, and then you come out here and you're like, whoa, like there's some guys that can play out here, and all the Americans out here are dogs. So it really widens your perspective.
Yeah. So I mean, you're from California, right? Temecula, California, and you started. Were you a linebacker in high school?
Yeah, so I was middle linebacker, played both ways, middle linebacker.
Yeah, you saw that.
Left tackle.
You were a left tackle and a middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker, number 77.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, I wasn't, the story behind that, like I wasn't given, so with that number, I was actually 44. I've always won 44. And then basically like a couple days before our first game,
you have to wear, if you were playing, you got to play an eligible number. Yeah.
And basically our tackle got hurt right before our first game. And this is like my junior year, and I just wanted to play. So I was like, I guess. So they were like, you're going
to have to show me at some point.
It was like 68 or 77. So I was like, well, wow, you're really giving me a lot of choices here, but I guess I'll go with 77.
You got to you got to show me a picture later. I need to see a clip of that middle linebacker at 77. Yeah. And then from after high school, you went and you played 4 years at Cal Poly.
Yes, 5 years.
Or 5 years, yeah.
So I was 5 years at Cal Poly, red-shirted, and I came in actually as an outside backer. Yeah. And then red-shirted, and then slowly just
transitioned you.
Slowly just started making my way down. They're like, okay, gain a little bit weight. Okay,
put your hand in the ground.
Now gain a little bit more weight. Okay, so I went from middle linebacker to outside backer to stand-up D-end to 4-eye, and then just kept going.
3-tech.
and then just slowly started making my way to the
number
middle.
Started getting lower. You went from 7,
my
5,
weight
4,
went up.
3.
My position number went down. So
and then you took advantage, right? You kind of had, so you were still in college during COVID, and all that craziness, and you kind of took advantage of the rules, and you got to play 1 year at Fresno State.
Yeah. So COVID was
crazy.
Crazy, but a blessing for football at least, because I was able to get 2 minors, got minor in global politics and a minor in law when I was at Cal Poly, and then I was able to also go get a master's degree. I'm almost done with my MBA at Fresno State.
Nice.
Paid for, and it gave me an opportunity to go play up. I always thought I was good enough to go play up, and it wasn't in the cards because I was like, this is my last year, but then got an extra season, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go bet on myself, and I don't want any regrets. I didn't want to finish up my career and be like, dang, I could have,
should have, would have, yeah. And I mean, you guys had a successful year. I think Fresno, you guys took down 2 top 25 teams that year, right?
Yeah, it was a magical run, honestly. It was so cool because my time at Cal Poly, record-wise, wasn't the best, but I honestly think that's helped the person I've become, because I've been a part of basically every type of team you could think.
Yeah.
Cal Poly, when I first got recruited, they were one of the top teams in the conference. That's why I wanted to go there. They were the best team. We were ranked super high. They barely lost to Nevada in overtime. They barely lost to ASU. And I was like, dang, this is a good team. I'm going to get some national recognition.
They were kind of trending upwards, right?
And then we, we lost in the playoffs. And then after that, it was we went 1-10. And then it was 4-7. And then it was just 5 and 6, and it's kind of like in our spring
which is
season.
which is kind of opposite of probably what you were experiencing in high school.
Oh,
right? Yeah. In high school, I saw your guys' records, and then you're going through all that. But I think, I mean, you're right. That I had a similar, like, I lost only 4 times in high school.
I'm jealous.
And my first year in Colorado, we were 2-10.
Yeah.
And that's definitely gonna, like, learning, right? And I'm sure it's helped you, right?
Oh, definitely.
Going through your first year here with Silver Star and things like that. And I mean, I know we kind of talked about it, but I kind of, I always ask a lot of people, right? How did you find your way here to Japan, and how did you get, connected to Silver
That's
Star?
like the question out here that every American asks me. They're like, how are you out here? Like, who do you know?
Yeah.
Because everyone seems like they come in like groups with like dudes from their colleges or kind of like same age group, and it's not really many guys out here that are 24. So I, after my season at Fresno State, tried to go pro in the U.S. and Canada, didn't work out. Sent out a bunch of emails, just sent out emails randomly to teams, and then forgot about it. And then like a month went by, and just figured, you know what, I guess ball's done. Got a full-time job as a paralegal in like LA, and then I was just working, and then I was cutting weight too, because I was like 280, and then I was like at like 250, and then got an email saying, hey, like, we're interested, like, can we set up a Zoom meeting? And I was like, I don't know.
It was a scam?
Well, yeah, like it was like it was like a, like there was not like a formal email. It was just kind of like
from
hey,
somebody's
like,
email.
We're interested, like, do you want to, like, and it wasn't even like a reply to my email. It was just like a new email. So I was hesitant even about doing the Zoom call, and then I did it though. I had a good conversation with the GM and then basically one of the support staff. And then they said that they thought I was a good fit and they wanted to come meet me in person though. So then they flew from Tokyo to Temecula down to SoCal, and we had dinner and we talked over everything. And then they said that they liked me and that they're going to start like the visa process, which just took months and months.
Well,
especially right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
But I kind of just didn't know if I was going to be on the team or not for a couple months. So I was just started working out, started gaining weight back because I was like, okay, I might play now, so I got to gain some weight back.
Put the muscle back on.
Yeah, I was like, okay, shoot. Right after I started cutting, but I was like, okay, got to put some weight back on, and then got everything worked out, and then now I'm out here and I'm just kind of surviving on my own.
Well, if you were living in LA, I mean,
it was remote.
Okay.
So it was based in LA, but I was back home, just basically waiting to figure out what I was gonna do.
Yeah. So I mean, like, how was and I'm from a small town in Hawaii, and and things like that. So one of the other things I always love to hear, and I want people to share, is kind of what was your just moving, right? Because now you live in Tokyo, which is the largest, most populated city in the world.
Yeah.
Kind of what was that transition like for you?
It's been crazy. Like my hometown in Temecula, there's like not much to do. It's gotten bigger since I've gotten older.
Nowhere near.
No one hangs out in Temecula
16,
unless
17
you're
million people.
Retired. Like it's a big winery town, not much to do. So going from a pretty spread out town to Tokyo, where literally it's so condensed. And it's like, oh, you're only going like 1 mile, but that's going to take you like 30 minutes to get there by train, which is insane. And so I've taken for granted, I miss my car, I miss driving. That's one thing, but I definitely couldn't drive out here. I've seen how driving is out here, and I don't understand it at all.
It's one of those things. I mean, I've been driving now for 3 years. You get the flow of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the train system here, right, is like #1 in the world. I mean,
it's been awesome.
They apologize when in the newspapers when it's like 4 or 5 minutes late.
I think I've been late by a minute like once.
Yeah.
So it's usually pretty on point.
Yeah, I mean, and things like that. So, so you've come into Japan, you've adjusted, or how where you live, how's the food situation? How are you enjoying that, right?
Yeah, it's been, I mean, the food wise, I mean, you can't beat this type of food out here. I love Asian food, so Japanese food is up there with me. And
Well, you're part Korean, right?
Yeah, I'm half Korean, half white.
Yeah, that's all.
So I already like Japanese food, any type of Asian food. So I've been loving it. It's so cheap compared to California. So like, I mean, as being a lineman, it's like I go to like
you gotta find the volume,
all you can eat sushi places, and you know, I run them out of business.
Well, I asked, so I had Ian, you know, and I'm a big sushi guy too. You know, so obviously Friday nights, right? And back in the States, Friday nights is high school. So there's Thursday nights in high school. Thursday nights I used to go and eat sushi. And when I talked about, right, the 4 times I lost in high school, I didn't eat sushi the night before. So if you go to the all-you-can-eat sushi spots, what's the most amount of sushi you've ever? I mean, the show's called Playing for Sushi. What's the most amount? What's the amount of plates?
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't even, we just keep going. It's like, well, I'll go, because I've gone a couple times already with Ian, and we usually go.
So who eats more, you or Ian?
The thing is, he has a better technique. Like, he's really good at ordering it before he's already done. So, like, he's already ordered.
Oh, he's an old lineman.
Yeah, but like, so there's like technique to the iPad ordering system at these sushi places that I didn't know. So, like, I would eat my sushi and then order and then sit around for a couple minutes. But he was like, he would eat and order while he's eating. And so I've definitely learned, but I would say maybe he has an edge on me, but I'm catching up.
Okay. Well, I had to ask because, you know, like, you know, I think I can get up to the 30s. 30s? In as far as numbers of plates. I think I've gotten at least 36, 37 maybe. Might be the most. Not so much anymore.
We'll have to go head to head on the next podcast. We'll go head to head.
Oh, I don't know if you're ready for that.
Just have the sushi conveyor belt right in front of us and we just go plate for plate.
I mean, you can try. I don't think you'll win though. I can eat sushi. I've been eating. I mean, yeah, I know, but like, you know, raw fish and stuff. I mean, since I was born, you know, like raw fish is everything. That's why I think I got lucky growing up in Hawaii and now I'm here.
It's perfect.
I mean, I think I'm spoiled now because now when I go back home, when I go to Hawaii, I don't eat sushi.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean,
you've had the best stuff.
Well, and then like you said, right, the prices and things like that. And so, yeah, you know, you've come into Silver Star, and I don't know if you know the history of Silver Star. I mean, they are one of the teams who historically they used to be the team.
Yeah.
You know, and recently they've been struggling. You know, they were, you know, kind of always out of the playoffs for a long time. Then they fell down into the area. Now they're in the Super, back in the Super. You guys are back in the playoffs, you know, and that being your first year and things like that. What are some of the goals you have for yourself just kind of going on for the rest of your career and just, you know, here in Japan in general?
Yeah, just, you know, obviously I want to win. I want to win as much as possible. And I just, you know, I want to become the best player I can be. And one of the biggest things is just trying to change the culture, maybe bring us back to that winning culture. A lot of these guys, you know, I got to push them to want to be better.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of guys tremendously get better just from the beginning of the season to now. And it's hard when you only have 2 or 3 practices a week to really change, you know, a program and change a team. So that's why I'm hoping, like, within, you know, this future, the short-term future, that we can get the team rolling, get guys moving where they need to be, and kind of get that winning culture back.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you guys are taking steps because, you know, yeah, like you guys struggled. There was a struggle for a moment before you joined, like Silver Star was coming back. They would almost get back into the Super, and then like they just couldn't, you know, get that hump. And, you know, watching you guys come up this year, it was kind of like, wow, like, because early on in my career, like my first year, we played Silver Star. My very first game in the playoffs was against Silver Star. And yeah, for me, kind of just watching, you know, like, historically you guys have been one of the, you know, and seeing you guys kind of go down for all those years, but now you guys are back has been refreshing, and I think it's been good. You know, who are, you know, and you're young here in Japan and things like that. So who are some of the guys that you've really, you know, you've talked about, you have players on Silver Star. Who are some of the guys that caught your eye?
On Silver Star? Or just
yeah, Silver Star, just kind of coming, you know, you see these guys and you're like, wow, like they kind of caught your eye.
Definitely like our linebacker group. Like our linebacker core, I would say, like I would go on record and saying they're the best in the X League as a unit. We have, you know, the guy from 𝐒𝐔𝐿, the guy from CFL, and, you know, we have so many linebackers that, like, it seems like we don't know what to do with them at times. Like, I mean, that's why we run a 3-4, because our linebacker core is so solid. And, you know, for the most part, some of them are on the younger side too, which is a good plus. And so I was shocked with how, I was like, dang, like some of these guys might have been able to play like college ball in the US. Their motor is just pretty good. I was just shocked. Like they're they're fast. They're fast. Obviously, maybe
some guys who can move.
the size might be the big difference, but they're fast and they hit hard, and a lot of them they're very smart. They're very football smart, and that's why I was probably one of the most things I was surprised about was the football IQ coming in. I was like, I didn't know what to expect, and some of these guys really know their stuff. Yeah. Like you can tell like they love football.
Well, did you know that there's college football here? There's even high school football here. Did you know that before coming?
Before coming out, no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought like...
So I think like, from what I've heard of conversations with guys who've played in like Europe and things like that, like Europe doesn't have that. There's really no college system or the way that Japan has, right? So I think that's an advantage, I think, and that's something, right? Like up until you probably found emails or things like that, social media, right? Like football in Japan, you probably didn't know really existed into the depth that it does, So I think, a lot of those guys, right, they've had the advantage of playing from college, some playing even in high school and things like that. So, that's good to hear, and I hope a lot of those guys, they can continue to grow. And, for you, just kind of being the fresh eyes, that you are to football in Japan, kind of what do you see for the future of it, or what are some of the things that you would want to see happen for the game here?
Definitely. I think we're doing a great job right now promoting the league, and social media has been great, it looks like, and they've been pushing it out. It's just hard, I think, with maybe increase American roster spots, but then it's like, how would you do that financially and stuff like that? And then I was actually surprised with like how many people come to some of these games. I wasn't expecting much, and a lot of people come to these games, and especially some of the games now that we're having like in Yokohama Stadium and in the pro baseball stadium. It's cool, and the bright lights, and it feels like a legit game.
Playing under the lights.
I feel like I'm playing like in a real game, and so I feel like just continue to push out the league. Get more people like to know about it, and maybe even get more people like outside of Japan to know about it. Because whenever I talk to people in the U.S., they're like, I had no idea there's football in Japan.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do here with this show. Exactly. And I hope it continues to be successful.
Because for the most part, general population has no idea in the U.S.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, general population really outside of the NFL and college football, it is hard.
But the true football fans and the true football junkies, they're starting to know.
Oh, I've come across. I've had like podcast interviews. I've been, I've done Twitter Spaces with people who had no idea, and they somehow find me, and then we talk about it, and I tell about like, right, there's the X League, there's the college level, there's the high school level, and things like that, and people are very like, what,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you talk about, right, like the fans. What you don't know is like, and I talked, last episode with John, before Kawasaki, the Kawasaki and the Kawasaki I first played in.
Yeah.
Two different things, my man. There were aluminum there, so they were building that stadium up. And so at one point it was literally just aluminum bleachers. There was like 3 aluminum bleachers on one side, 3 aluminum bleachers on the other side, and that was it. So what you're playing in Kawasaki now is like night and day, man. Oh, it's night and day. And I mean, at one point it was just the one side. There was the one side built up, and the other side was just like a yellow wall.
Yeah.
So it was like, if you were on the other side, like, it was literally like you sit and there's like a yellow wall and you're just looking at the fans, and it's just like kind of, lonely.
Yeah.
And then, finally they were able to build up the Kawasaki Stadium to what it is now. And yeah, and I mean, another question I want to ask you, because you're going through your first year, what have been some of the matchups? How has it been going against the teams you've gone against so far this year?
Yeah, I got the special American D-line treatment out here.
Yeah, welcome
going
to the club.
From college where I'm playing with dudes that are going to the league, and I never had to worry about being the #1 threat. To coming out here, and it's I'm lucky to get double teamed. Most time, if I'm playing inside, it's triple team and pass, double team and run. Never single block. If I'm single block, maybe they're trying to cut me.
Welcome to the club.
That's been the hardest part, because I'm like, dang, like how do I win a double
now
team
you
pass
got
rush? How do I win a
now your
triple team?
wheels got to turn a little differently, huh?
In practice now, instead of one-on-ones, I'll have them, hey, can you guys double team me on this one-on-one? And they're like what? And I'm like, it's the closest I can get to the game. Like, you know, one-on-one doesn't really help me now because I don't get that look in the game. And so it's been hard. And obviously, like, I'm not a true nose guard, and I'm kind of playing all over. We don't really have a spot for me. It's kind of whatever we think is the game plan. I'm playing, Army, you know, playing DN, D tackle, nose. You know, practice playing some linebacker, maybe.
Ooh.
You know.
You gonna drop into coverage? I
dropped into coverage against the IBM again, probably too much. You know, I wanted to pass rush, but just how it was. But I dropped into coverage maybe like 5 times against them. Oh. I was reliving my high school days.
You know, thank you for your time, man. And I just appreciate you coming out and talking, sharing your experience, you know, and I hope you continue to play well. I hope you stay healthy. And I mean, I hope you can have that long career that you would want to have here. You know, you're doing really good, you know, talking with you, sitting here, talking and listening to what you're trying to imply. I think that's great. You know, I played for 10 years, and, you know, one of the things that you said, right, preaching effort, preaching running to the ball. I joined the team. So when I joined 𝐒𝐔𝐄, they were on a run of back-to-back championships. So we went on a 4P, but I joined on the back end of the 4P. My second week of practice, I remember I threw my helmet and I yelled at them. And nobody understood what I was saying.
Yeah, of course.
But my thing was in the same with you. And I told them, like, this does not look like a championship team to me.
Exactly.
And we need to run to the ball. And yeah, and I, you know, keep preaching those things because, yeah, the scariest thing, you know, when you watch film, right, is as an offense, right, when you're watching and you know, the play is done and you see like 10, all 11 guys on the screen, there. Like, that's intimidating, you
Especially
know?
when you see like the D lines there.
Yeah, like, you know, that, yeah, the same things I preach to my players at, you know, the University of Tokyo. Like, I tell them, like, run to the ball, good things happen, run to the ball. But yeah, just continue to do what you're doing. You know, I think you're playing great. I love watching you. You have a great motor. You know, I've seen you, you know, yeah, you don't say you're a nose guard, but you starting from a nose guard and I watch you run 30, 40 yards down the field. Like that's like, we call it, right, teach tape, right?
Of course.
That's something, right? You circle and be like, watch this, because those are the things you can't teach. But continue to play well, man. And I hope you know, you stay healthy. You have a long career, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, of course.
First, I just want to give a thank you to Bountiful Cafe here in 𝐒𝐔𝐒𝐄 for having us. This is a cafe that I probably visit maybe once or twice a week. It's a really great place, great atmosphere, as you guys can see in the videos. They have great espressos, lattes, they have smoothies, they have seasonal menus. And if you guys are ever out in the area for Disneyland, just in area in general, I highly recommend it. And again, thank you Bountiful Cafe for having us.